Guys, welcome back to my channel. Yep, Project Smurf. This is the day we start working on the car, and hopefully we'll make some good headways between today and tomorrow. So we are actually going to try to pull that motor out here in the next few days. Hopefully all that goes good. But yeah, first things first, we need to drain the fluids. First, set a light up here so we get a good view of everything. Got the heater on the back. That's part of the noise you hear. It is a little bit chilly here in the shop, but rest assured, when the heater gets going and get things warmed up here, it does get comfortable. We're just sitting at just a little over 60 right now, but things will improve. So with that, let's go get started. I might set up the GoPro, do a time lapse maybe, not sure. But anyway, just sit back, relax, hopefully enjoy the video. Got any comments about anything, put it in the comments and all that good stuff. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, this is the first time I ever pulled a 3rd gen motor out. I'm gonna do it from the bottom. I mean, I got a lift, might as well. I really don't know the steps of pulling it, but just going by what I did when I'm a 4th gen. Before I made it into a race car. So I'm just kind of going the same principles. Basically, you know, disconnect the converter, linkage, torque arm, need to get that out of there. That's in there a little bit different. I mean, there's a bolt, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a bolt that goes all the way through. So I'm gonna have to disconnect it way back here. I have to undo this, take all this off. It's probably not a bad idea to clean all this up when it's out. So I'll get all that, undo the mount, transmission mount, the exhaust. They got some nice welding job done here. All this is going to get cut out when we don't need it. So I'm probably just going to come in there, try to loosen these bolts up best I can, but for the most part it's going to get cut off. So I might have to bring the lift down and get it off the exhaust here a little bit. Then just keep my working my way forward and start disconnect just about everything else that I need to get disconnected. Up here is totally different how the 4th gen versus the 3rd gen set up. So we got springs in here. We got just a different type of shock setup, the sway bar. All this stuff's going to come out. So trying to get all this stuff out. So all we're going to have is the K member down. So I don't know, the springs might even come out as well. Haven't quite how that's going to work, but I think once I do the shocks, I think this whole thing's going to drop, especially if you disconnect it from this guy. So I don't know, I'm going to have to figure out what parts and pieces I'm going to pull off of here. So anyway, then once you do all that, just kind of work your way toward the top and start disconnecting more stuff from the top. Then I know there's about 3, well, they got some of these funky mounts here. Disconnect this from the K member. And I think there's 3 bolts holding the K member up from the bottom. Then if that all goes good, then just gonna set it down. I got some fixtures made. I'm gonna set this whole thing down on that fixture, lift the body off, and we should have the motor out. Sounds pretty simple. So anyway, gonna keep on digging at this until I get it all done. So okay guys, just like I said, we start from the rear and we work our way forward. So drive shaft is gone, torque arm is off, exhaust cut off, but I was able to go ahead and unbolt it from the headers here. It actually had some headers on this block. So it's not the stock manifolds for sure. So I was able to get these bolts out. So slowly working my way forward. Got the transmission mount loose, the nut just sitting there. So then when we lower it down, undo these bolts here, these 4 here, then the whole transmission mount will come off. It'll sit on my, this will sit on that jig. Converter's loose, linkage is out, undone. There's a see it or not, there's a connector up there where my flashlight is. That's unplugged. It's on the other side. In fact, it's laying right here. Okay guys, I am getting closer and closer. Sorry, I've not updated as much as I needed to, but basically work from the top and go down side to side. So I basically kind of started over there, started disconnecting about everything I see connected over the motor, work my way over here, started disconnecting all this stuff over here, any hoses that's connected to the motor, getting them out of the way. There's a lot of loose wiring on this car. Yeah, it looks rough, but trust me, once I get done with it, it's going to look really, really nice in here. So the AC, it's disconnected. It is not even charged up. There's my phone. The AC is not even charged up, so that's a plus. Don't have to worry about that. So it's just going to keep working until I get everything disconnected, and hopefully we'll get this thing pulled here in the next day or so. Planning maybe tomorrow. So I don't think I'm going to have time to do it today, but definitely a good chance this thing might be coming out of here tomorrow. So that. Okay guys, day 2 working on this. Like I said, I think the first day I put 4 hours in. Now this thing's coming out today. There's no doubt in my mind. So anyway, like I said, all the brackets and stuff is down there. That's what it looks like on the top. So gonna pull the radiator out. It just barely hang on there. We got a hose there. The hose down there so it gets disconnected. The transmission line to the top here, just I need to undo that. Take the overflow tank tube off. That will be out of the way. Heater hose, disconnect that. Just a few other things, and we're ready to get this thing lowered down. All the brake lines over there are disconnected, so that's the front brake connection line, and I think there's a rear brake line as well. It might be 2 fronts, I can't remember, but 2 of those lines had to be disconnected. Bunch of the vacuum hoses over the brake booster and all that had to be disconnected. A bunch of the wiring over here had to be disconnected. I had a bunch of wires just hanging here, not too sure where they went. We're gonna figure that out later. AC, there's absolutely no charge in it. All those lines been disconnected. I think I might have a few more here to disconnect, but it won't take long. Fuel line was the other thing. So yeah, everything else is ready to be disconnected. When we get that out, we'll get the AC coils out. He's not going to be using that at all. So anyway, and plus eventually all this is going to be gone as well, so no more AC in this car. So looking forward to that. So anyway, let's get with it. Let's get all this rest stuff disconnected, and with any luck here, we'll be lowering this thing down. So here we go. Okay, 3rd gen. To remove the K member is totally different on the 4th gen. More important because there's springs in here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a spring in here, shock out here. See, on the 4th gen, the spring, it's a strut spring assembly, so the spring is in with the strut. Okay, this is separate. What causes an issue is the spring's under tension. So if I remove the shock, this whole assembly is gonna, actually come down, and the spring's gonna pop out. So to get this, spring's gonna have to come out. That's a given. I know that's going to come out because once this drops, the spring's gonna pop out. Okay. So in order to do all that, I'm going to have to disconnect all this. So I'm gonna have to disconnect the brake lines here. I mean, going to have to get it bled anyway, so it's no big deal. I'll break the break the line here, so I'll get this disassembled. Then I'll be able to loosen this up, and I can lower, since I'm on the lift, I can put a jack underneath this guy, put tension on it, and bring it down slowly. And then the spring will eventually pop out. So, because I already did it over there, so I know what to expect over here. Brake line's disconnected, so that was fun. The ball joint is, I can't hardly see, but it's loose here. Whoop, light, bright light, sorry guys. But it's just hanging here on the bolt, so it's just basically loosen the nut and beat the side of it, and it just shocks it loose. So this is all ready to come down. I got the ball joint loose on the other side. The shock is pretty much ready to come down. So we just need to prepare ourselves when that spring comes out. So let's go ahead and get the spring out on this side. So we'll set the little pump jack underneath it. I might as well record it, how the spring shoots out of there. So first, let's get this nut off at the top. So you can see the car kind of shot up a little bit. Didn't go too far because that jack is holding it. Okay, a couple options. Since I have a lift, I can actually go up with it somewhat slowly, and you'll see this arm go down. So let's go ahead and get started. See, he's moving. It's just a lot of pressure that's on that jack right now. Okay, the shock is out. The spring is right there. It's ready to be shot out anytime. As I come up with it, this thing is going to start to shoot out. So it's going to be kind of corny. I don't want that thing shooting off and hit me. I have a feeling it's going to come out this way. So I don't know. Here we go. It's coming. It's coming. Uh-oh. I'm in the line of fire. This can't be good. I mean, that spring's under a lot of tension. It could shoot out any second. In case it goes through the middle, it might have a chance of hitting that box. Okay. See it or not? Stand to the side. Come on, come out. Okay, let me get something to persuade it. Okay, guys, this is something you don't want to do. You can see. There it is. See what I mean? Oh my goodness, there's the other one. That one scared me as well. That one just kind of shot out of there. This one just was stubborn to get in there. So, but at least the spring is out. All I have to do is undo that nut. Then the whole steering knuckle or steering assembly here can be taken out, and it gets us one more step closer to getting the car down. But this gives us a great opportunity to clean up everything in here, get new ball joints in it, clean up the spring, make it pretty much like new. So yeah, this thing is totally shot. I mean, it just rough. Feel it. I mean, you can hear it. Plus you can, the whole seal's gone. There we go. So water been getting in there, and who knows what else, and it just wears it out. So let's get the other side done, and we're getting closer to get this thing set up to come down. So I don't know. Okay, we're ready to get this thing lowered down and on this to this little jig here. K-member up here is going to rest on here. The transmission is going to rest back here on the pan. So theory is everything's supposed to come down. The K-member will rest on here. Once I get it sitting on here fairly secure, then I'll kind of strap it down to make sure nothing's going to be moving on it and stuff like that. Then I will get these bolts out. Got 3 bolts up here. Got one there, one back here. In fact, this one back here is actually loose. Kid you not. Well, it was loose earlier. Then transmission mount, 4 bolts there. And this thing's ready to be lifted, the body actually lifted off of the motor. So yeah, it's just gonna spread those apart. That's okay, but it's almost touching right now, so go ahead and get the rest done. So let me get the ones on the other side. Okay, there should be nothing holding this motor to the car anymore. Got the transmission bolts left or removed for the mount. K-member bolts, only 6 of them, they were removed. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bump it up just a little bit and see what happens. Okay. Check a few things. See the car slowly going up. It's just going to check, make sure that the motor doesn't try to, you know, move or any of that good stuff. But right now it seems like it is staying put. Brake lines was the other thing. Just make sure those are not binding on anything. Okay, let's hear something creaking to make sure anything's getting pulled. So far looks good. Let me check a few things out. Hang on. Hey, there's an empty hole. Woohoo! Lifted up exactly like I wanted it to. And it's sitting on that jig right where I need it to. So it's pretty square for the most part. The next task is get the carburetor taken off, get a lift on it, or one of those brackets to lift it off of it, put it up there, and just get it off the K-member. So got my engine lift over there, so we're going to take this motor off. Before I can do that, I need to disconnect it from the back. And it's so strange, there's a piece of wire that's actually got stuck in between the bell housing. So I don't know, it looks like a ground wire, but that's a weird place to put a ground wire. So I have a feeling that got pinched. So, but it's all out now, sitting down here. Next plan of attack would be get the motor off, transmission separated, get this motor out of the shop. Got a pallet outside I'm going to put it on, and get the transmission disconnected. And the fun part begins next. Going to start cleaning up all this wiring, see what I need, what I don't need, and do a massive amount of cleanup. There's a lot of caked up on oil everywhere, so this thing's going to get a proper clean. So with that, guys, I am done with this part of the video for now. The next video that you're going to see is the cleanup process. Hopefully I have a good start on it. Motor should be definitely outside. We'll be working on the K-member, so that's all going to get power washed, clean, degreased, whatever. That's going to get repainted. The lower control arm's going to get repainted. The springs, the whole inside of the car going to get... Camera shut off. Need to remove the AC. You need to get some block off plates, get that put in there. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do on all that stuff. So with that, hope you like what you see. Hit that share, like button. Follow this project with me, because it is going to be a long-term winter project for me. So anyway, with that, I'm out of here. Until the next time. Okay, what you want not to do is make sure you drill deep enough. If you did not drill deep enough and you tap it, you already screwed up.